guys, welcome to another episode of Monica Mentors. I am your host, author Monica Martin Fletcher, and I am so excited and elated that you guys decided to join me today. Oh my goodness, we are having this up and down weather. It's spring one day, winter one day, summer 2 days. It's just all over the place. And so it's a lot. And this is really leading me into what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. This is going to be a special episode because it's near and dear to what our children are dealing with, especially a lot of our teens. And so today we're going to talk about the ups and downs of when life feels overwhelming. Guys, we got to talk about supporting our kids who are dealing with anxiety. Helping kids navigate anxiety in this season, we got to do it, y'all. They are feeling overwhelmed in this political climate. They are feeling overwhelmed in their family life, in schoolwork, in just making everyday choices. And so we're going to dive into the growing challenges that our children feel that they face as they feel overwhelmed by life choices. This show is designed for parents, caregivers, and mentors like myself as we talk about and explore the causes of anxiety, social influences, providing tips and tools for our kids as they go from grade to grade. We need to talk about some actionable tools to help them cope. We're going to talk about how to create safe spaces. You guys hear me use that term a lot as it relates to our kids and having open conversations. We're going to teach calming techniques. And we're going to talk about instilling a resistance to anxiety in relating to their faith and guidance from you parents. Join us as we unpack the hope and the strength that's available for families and reminding our children they are not on this journey alone. There was a recent study that was conducted by the Pew Research Center, and it said anxiety and depression tops the list of problems that teens say that they and their peers are facing at school. And it's an issue that is too common amongst our teens and our college students. Did you guys know that 3 out of 10 teens, they said that it's so common. Conversation is all about these two things. Teens say anxiety and depression is more common for girls than among boys in their schools. At the same time, the majority of teen boys, according to this report, said that it is easier for them to go to their friends instead of their parents and other peers for emotional support. So do we understand what anxiety is for our kids? So according to the American Psychological Association, anxiety is an emotion that's characterized by feelings of tension. They're having worried thoughts, and any type of physical changes that they experience is causing their blood pressure to rise. Anxiety is not the same as fear, mom and dad, but they are often used interchangeably. Anxiety is considered a future-oriented, long-acting response that's broadly focused on a diffusing threat, whereas fear is an appropriate, present-oriented, and short-lived response to a specific threat. So anxiety is something that they feel that may happen in the future because of an action. Fear is a present-oriented feeling, but it's short-lived that they have about a specific threat. And again, this was according to the American Psychological Association. So what does anxiety look like? There were several anxiety disorder types that blew my mind. And I'm going to cover as many of them as I can in this show because it was a bit overwhelming, guys, as I was even doing the research. So one of the ones that popped up in my research the most, it's called generalized anxiety disorder. And the definition is, it says it's a pervasive worry where they're having anxious feelings across everything in their life. So it's not just isolated to incidents in the school or incidents in getting in trouble or, gaming. It's every single aspect of their life. They feel that there's some type of worry or feelings that something is going to not go right. And again, that one's called generalized anxiety. Separation anxiety was the next. According to the research, it says this is really common in our younger children, but it is an intense fear of being separated from a primary caregiver, i.e. their parents, that's beyond a normal period of time. So as an example, kids who are used to being around their parents, if their parents are gone for more than, let's say, a day or two, the children start to feel overwhelmed as if their parents are not going to come back to them. And that one again is called separation anxiety. The next one was social anxiety disorder. So this is where young people are intensely afraid of social situations. Going to the mall is uncomfortable with them. Being in a chat group with friends is especially where they have to interact in the situation. Being in children's church and you want them to perform, as a part of a play or singing in a choir, that causes them anxiety where they have to be sociable because they may feel embarrassed. They may feel judged by their peers. And so they will intentionally try to avoid situations where they have to speak up or speak out. According to a couple of examples that I found, this one is most common in a lot of teens. Another one was called panic disorder anxiety. Now, this one was also stated as being extremely common in teens than in younger children. So this condition was marked by reoccurring unexpected panic attacks. And it's persistent. They are persistently concerned and worried about the next thing that's going to happen. They wake up. They feel uncomfortable. Before they go to bed, they feel uncomfortable. They go to school. They get on the school bus. You're driving the car. Car gets in front of you. They have a feeling that this particular thing is going to happen all the time. And so it causes them to feel like everything about life is what we call code 10. It's on a 10 for them. Another one was specific phobias. Now, one could say I'm a lot better, but I could relate to this one because I used to have a phobia about animals. As I've gotten older, my husband has done a great job of helping me with this as far as dogs, specifically big dogs. I used to literally get chill bumps and freeze when I was in the presence of a large animal. And so this condition involves strong fears of specific situations or objects. For children, these often include such things as needles. My sister can relate to that. Injections, as I mentioned, dogs and animals, which was mine. This was really a lot to me. Vomiting. Kids have phobias about someone vomiting. And I think another thing, if I'm not mistaken, it mentioned was even things around the house. Like there are certain things that the kids were uncomfortable with. Water running too long, someone flushing the toilet too many times. It was just so keep in mind with this specific phobia, it can be an object, a thing, like it mentioned, anything that makes the child feel like something is going to make them almost like they're sick to their stomach if they're around that particular thing, or they just flat out freeze and can't move. So selective was a little interesting to me because this particular anxiety disorder, it typically begins in early childhood, but it did say it can persist into adulthood if untreated. Children who have selective phobias, they have trouble talking in situations where they can't figure out how to be comfortable in that space. So I know that we have a lot of labels that we put on our kids right now, but the best example I can think about this is if that child that you have, let's just say you have a child that's sitting at home, sitting in front of the television, never really talk, never really interact with the family, just sitting there. It's time to get up, it's time to go to school, it's time to go to bed, but they're not really into the space that they're in. And according to my research, most children deal with this the most at home and around their families. And so they have this intense need to be close to something, whether it be an animal, whether it be fish, whether it be not necessarily people, but around something. A teddy bear is a good example. Can't go anywhere without their Barbie doll, can't go anywhere without their with boys and their different toys that they have. Got to have their Legos, got to have their Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse, just the different toys that are out there. They have to be extremely close to those things. And a lot of times it's stated they sit there with those things and they don't have to have a conversation. They don't have to say anything. They don't have to do anything. They just have to be in that space. Okay? They are not very comfortable with new people or new places. Newness overwhelms them, and they will almost freeze in response when they feel that you are forcing them to use their voices to meet and do and explore new things. So that one was called selective anxiety. Now, how can you as parents recognize signs of anxiety beyond what we just consider typical stress? And why do kids feel their life is so consumed with anxiety? So even before the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a growing number of young people who said they were experiencing high rates of clinical level anxiety. The report that I found said, and it was according to an APA study, said that about 11.6% of kids said they felt anxiety in 2012. It went up. It was 20% from 2007. But check this out, y'all. During the pandemic, that number doubled. 20.5% of kids worldwide, not just here in the United States, said that during the pandemic, they were struggling with anxiety symptoms. And this was according to a meta-analysis of 29 studies that were reported on pediatrics and teens. Beside COVID-related stressors, social isolation, missed milestones in school, increased family tension, including divorce, including parents who were not married but they separated, including death of close family members, including failing in school, separation from, let's say, if you had older kids who went off to school and their younger kids were left in the home, background stressors such as school shootings. They are overwhelmed with all the political unrest, and the war in Ukraine has even likely fueled some of these increases. Parents, y'all not going to like this, but I'm going to say it. You might not need to let your children look at so much television as it relates to a lot of these things, because in some instances, this anxiety is creating for your kids as if the world is a doom and gloom place. If all of they're seeing is, shootings and this and that and violence and this, they can't figure out how to separate what this thing is versus what this thing feels like. And so you might have to change the channel. If they're in the room looking at television with you, and if it's something you really want to look at, you may have to say, baby, go to your room. You might have to say, you can come back when this show go off. If they have televisions in their own room, you might want to have basic stations. Maybe, nowadays, some of y'all get on my nerves because you can look at ABC and be about to spaz out. No pun intended, because that's CVS. All of them do the same thing. BET Plus, all of y'all, they all do the same. And so you might have to be careful in what your kids are watching, because it's not like it used to be. I think when we just used to have bad dreams, they are really internalizing what they are seeing. And so let's explore where they feel some of the primary pressures are coming from. Of course, number one, school. Children and teens face academic stress due to high expectations from us, from the school system. They are so overwhelmed with standardized testing. And those who participate in extracurricular activities feel it more. They report it because not only do they have to be great in sports, they also have to be great in school by maintaining their grades so they can continue to participate in those activities. Now, the research says that excessive pressure to perform well leads to burnout, anxiety, and physical symptoms like headaches or fatigue. Kids get tired too. So I'm going to encourage you to balance your approach with academics, especially when someone is a student athlete. And you have to give them just as much time on the field as you do off the field, in the classroom as you do out of the classroom. But you have to get to a point where you have to find balance in what you're considering as perfection, because you could be stressing your kids out. Social media is the next one. Well, this is not a surprise either. Social media can be both a source of connection and a cause of anxiety. Studies show that while platforms allow kids to stay connected with friends, they also expose them to cyberbullying, unrealistic comparisons. You cute, you not cute. He like you, make her better because of her hair or her clothes versus yours. And there's pressure to maintain a perfect image online. The devil is a lie. All right. So, for an example, research suggests that excessive social media, turn it off, mom and dad, it is linked to lower self-esteem and an increased feeling of loneliness. Do you know there are kids who can talk all day on social media and cannot have a face-to-face conversation with anybody? And so a lot of times social media has even created a place where it's set up those healthy and unhealthy boundaries. Turn off that doggone screen time and start talking again. Listen, what did I say? I say this all the time. There were certain things that my parents did not give us an option on. Are some of y'all scared of y'all kids? Y'all scared to tell y'all kids to turn off the TV? Y'all scared to say police ain't gonna come and get? Now I know, I know y'all can. We can't. There's some stuff we can't do no more. But there's some stuff that you can. Who paid the bill? Get them off that computer at a certain time. Tell them finish your homework first, and we're gonna have some conversation. Let them read again. Pick up a book. Let them write again. But the most important part is I need you guys to understand the kids are saying that it is increasing their anxiety from being on television and screen time and an excessive amount of time because of the things that is triggering them depending on what conversations that they are in. Their peers are causing anxiety because in some cases they have a desire to fit in, and that can significantly impact a child's mental health. Picking at kids at school is nothing new. The only difference for them now, they have to deal with it on social media and they deal with it in person. And this can lead to feelings of insecurity about themselves. But on the other hand, positive peer relationships are so critical for emotional development. And that's what you as a parent can help. Help them understand what a positive relationship looks like, even if you have to start out showing them what a friend looks like. Now, I know there's a term when I was growing up, and I still say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. No, sir. Yes, sir, to my parents. But at the same time, though, I do feel like, especially me and my mom, I feel like at this age, we have created a space to be friendly with each other, even though she's still my mom. And so encouraging kids to build those friendships based on mutual respect and kindness can help them navigate the pressures that they feel. This is a biggie, y'all. So they feel, the kids, that this modern culture has contributed to heightening their anxiety. Teens say that they have a hard time thinking abstractly about how to put on an extra layer to help with their anxiety. Because if they can see it, if they can feel it, if they can touch it, if they're exposed to it, it is causing them to feel uncomfortable on a short and a long-term basis. There was an author that wrote in here, and he said that our young people, they are tending to become more shy and reserved. They're now often afraid to share their thoughts and their feelings with their friends or their families because they are trying to figure out how to normalize the thoughts that they're having. Teens have often said they feel more self-focused and that they too are trying to navigate this space so they won't continue to keep feeling like it's depression or anxiety. Now, what can you do as a parent? The first thing is, no matter the structure of treatment, let your child know that you love them, that you support them. Don't make them feel like they are a bad person, and definitely don't out-talk them over what they are sharing that they feel. But your support is key. There was an author Murkison said, often parents foster a child's anxiety unwillingly by providing too much protection. While it is a child's natural response, it can actually increase the anxiety in a child, especially if they're not learning how to deal and cope with difficult situations themselves. There was another parent who said parents often ignore their children's reactions because they felt that their children are simply just wanting some attention. And oftentimes, this thought by parents really strained the child parent relationship. It is so important to listen without judging. And so, there are some practical tips that you can encourage your children for managing their anxiety. Teach them some breathing exercises. I have a counselor friend of mine who I have done a lot of sessions myself, Natalie Warren. She teaches women how to breathe. I had a friend of mine I was talking to, and she had to deal with some unexpected grief. And the first thing we talked about, did you breathe today? Take a deep breath. Teach them how to be mindful of how they feel. Let their mind be. Let their mind be helped. Let it be released. Let them be mindful in expressing, I don't feel like it today. I don't want to talk about it today. Give them that space. Let them be mindful that it's not a healthy attitude to not want to talk to anybody or think everything is going to be wrong. Help them to understand that there are some right things about this world. You love them. They woke up this morning. You had dinner on the table. Show them some things. Teach them some things that they can find joy. And this will help them with some techniques to maybe lessen what they feel emotionally about everything that's pretty much going wrong with the world. And so create some routines. As soon as they get out of the bed in the morning, let them say thank you. I'm thankful to be woke. Mom and Dad, I love you. Before they go to bed, Mom and Dad, I love you. Can you read me a book? Give them some. The kids love routines, especially for those children who are under the age of 12. Get them in the habit of maybe sing songs while they're brushing their teeth. It sounds corny to you, but it works for them. Let them know everything is going to be okay, even if it's not. You're not creating a false reality to them, but you are counseling out the thing of them feeling like every single thing is going to go wrong for me today. Hug them more. Give them a high five if they don't like hugs. Find some type of way to give them a space to see that there are meaningful things that they can do. Let them draw pictures. Let them do creative art. Let them dance. Let them sing. We dance and sing so much in children's church. Good grief. And then you got to encourage open and positive conversation. Y'all, we have become some of the most negative people I have ever seen in my existence. It's rare that I run into at least 10 people in the world on a daily basis that say, you know what? I'm having a good day today. I ain't had no problems today. But I promise you, I can run into 50 people who going to tell me every single thing that went wrong about their day. You might not even realize you're projecting that energy into the atmosphere of your kids. And they're picking up on that. And nobody would have ever paid me to believe that I would be sitting here having a conversation about our kids feeling anxiety. But it's theirs, y'all, and they believe it, and they believe it's real, and I don't even hear them talking about the future like I used to. I don't see them excited about waking up to see the next day. There's a small generation. A lot of them are getting ready for prom and graduation. But where is the excitement before that? Where is the excitement after that? I don't hear anybody say, man, my parents take me to the zoo today. Man, I'm going to the library today. I just don't hear the fun inside of the kids anymore. And I guess I have to sit here and imagine, what is fun to the parents? Do the parents have fun anymore? Are we all just choosing doom, gloom, and like nothing is real anymore? No joy, no happiness, no love. Except that if I see this with them dancing, with them fans, or what, okay. I need to see a little bit more than that, y'all, because that's too much. Okay, let me go on, because that's a whole nother show for another day too. Y'all fan all day long. Okay, so as we wrap up this episode, I want you to take a moment to reflect on the real reality that your children are facing challenges in the world just like you are, and that they are seriously feeling overwhelmed, as if they're feeling like the world is coming to an end. Anxiety may not be a part of your life, but it is a part of some of you guys' children's life. And that does not have to make them who they are. As parents and caregivers and mentors, we have the incredible privilege of being a source of comfort, of guidance, of joy, of happiness, and of peace. And more importantly, strength to what our children are thinking and taking in. Remember I said, turn off that television, y'all. Get them off that screen time. Stop letting that gaming system babysit a lot of them. Get them to doing some positive things again. And so by creating these type of safe spaces, I'm not going to say it's going to take away everything, because you got to pray. Put some prayer in there now. Let them spend some time with their grandparents again. Grandma, y'all stay at home, some of y'all, so they can come see you. But get them involved in some spaces, volunteering where they can feel better about this world. I am not stupid and I am not naive to realize there are some real things that we're dealing with. But y'all, our children, they are our future. That's not a cliche. And they need to feel like there's going to be a future for them to be in. And just like you're having your feelings, they're having feelings about it too. And so you got to teach them how to manage their worries. And you got to ground them in faith and help them to navigate these challenges with hope. Let us hold on to the promise of Philippians 4:6-7, which reminds us, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and by petition, with thanksgiving, you can talk to God, and your children can too. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard their hearts and their minds in Christ Jesus. Y'all, peace is not just for you. Parents, your children need it too. And you got to guide them into God's love and His care. And you got to be there even on them days when you having your worst day. Remember, you are not on this journey alone. Together with faith and wisdom and love, we can help this generation face uncertainty. We will not give our children over to the enemy, because we're going to get our own courage together, and we're going to get our own confidence together. Because together as one, y'all, we can do what we need to do to make this space find balance and be strength for every last one of us. I want to thank you for joining me on this special episode today. And may you and your family find peace and love and joy and courage in the next several years to come. Until next time, guys, be blessed.